start by talking about the marathon thing?
I don't even know what that is, but first I'm going to do an intro. Hello and welcome to another episode of It Never Ends. I'm Andrew. Over there is my good buddy Alex. How you doing today? I already asked you that.
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good. What's the marathon thing? I didn't see what that is.
They stole art from an indie artist, and now the game has been delayed to an unspecified time. And apparently, basically everybody on the dev team is now really forlorn on the project because a lot of people are thinking they might have to go all the way back to the drawing board. So that's how Marathon is doing. Let me see if I can't find the name of the official artist, but yeah, he and a bunch of other people found assets that he used still with his watermark on it being used in game. According to the Marathon devs, they said this was because of a old technical artist or something like that was fired before any of this happened. That he put it into the game, but a lot of people are saying that's bullshit since Bungie has apparently been accused and found guilty of doing this before. And people are now speculating that basically the game's entire art style was either inspired by or torn from this one indie artist.
Oh, didn't know this was a thing. I had not heard of it at all.
Anti-Real is the name of the artist. I think lifting the entire art style is a bit of a stretch because that existed before that guy started making art, but the fact that several of his art assets were found blatantly obviously ripped and put into Marathon though is really beyond debate. They were caught red-handed, and Bungie even admitted to it and is blaming it on a former dev.
Yeah, considering that the Bungie, just seeing here, it's like, oh yeah, this is the fourth time in 5 years or something like that this has happened. Fourth time in 4 years that something like this happened. Tells me you got a bit of a track record there about that.
Yeah,
it's not a good
look. You guys made Halo 2, and now you're doing this.
Yeah, and apparently morale is at an all-time low as well, and I'm just like, oh, that's definitely what everyone wanted to hear. So, again, do we think Marathon's coming out now?
I don't know, man. It may come out, but I have a kind of a controversial take on that question, actually. I think it's going to come out, but it's going to come out in the same way that Redfall came out.
Oh, God.
Maybe it won't be super buggy and stuff like that, but it's going to come out in a state where basically half the dev team is being listen, everybody that played the alpha and the beta gave super lukewarm reception to it. There's apparently a bunch of problems. A bunch of the developers are really not in favor of the direction the game is going in. So I feel like it's going to be put out in a don't blame me kind of style. If that makes any sense. I don't know how long, if at all, the game will last if it does come out.
I don't want to set the bar too low here, but will it be better than Concord?
I think it'll do better than Concord.
I would hope so, considering Concord was a massive failure.
I think it'll go in the same direction, though, because basically they're trying to pull audiences away from games like Hunt Showdown and Escape from Tarkov, and from what I'm hearing, nobody's bent on budging. So their other course is to get their former Destiny people to move over to Marathon, and they don't want to play Marathon. They want to play games like Destiny, and they're still making overpriced expansions for Destiny. So I don't know. I don't know what their audience is. I'm not sure what the game plan or the pull is here.
Do you know? It's really interesting to me that it's just like this is another one of the scenarios again where it's just like a good company is bought up by a company, a bigger one, and then it feels like it's just driven into the ground. It feels like Bungie's just really going downhill a lot faster than like they didn't. They're not. No, I'm sorry. They're not going downhill. They jumped off a cliff.
Yeah. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm not sure I want to blame PlayStation for this one. Because it's like, I feel like this is generally the direction they were going even before the buyout. Because
That's fair.
I think Destiny 2... Destiny 2 was doing well before the PlayStation buyout. I'm not really sure how many resources were taken from them after that acquisition, if any.
I mean, I would hope not, but you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's just like... I feel like it was just like after the acquisition, and again, I think it goes back to the point that you just said. It's maybe not necessarily Sony's fault, but when the acquisition happened, I feel like a lot of the devs just kind of, or not even like devs, just like a lot of like the people at Bungie just feel like they just like, we don't gotta try so hard. We're just gonna coast type thing, and I'm going like, no.
You can't really do that.
No, and then all the layoffs happened, and then everything just spiraled out of control.
So you think PlayStation is going to come along and be like, hey, this isn't going to work out, make Destiny 3 instead? Or do you think they're just going to keep adding on to Destiny 2?
I mean, I don't want it to see it go like this, but it might go the BioWare route, and I'm like, oh boy. That's kind of just the general feels I have. It's just like, oh, you go from like this like really liked, studio and stuff like that to Mass Effect Andromeda happened, and then Anthem happened, and then you go, what do we do now?
They did put out Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
That's true,
I don't know how many people like that game.
Yeah, it was very just like. Some people liked it, a lot of people didn't. So I'm just like, okay. I mean, I guess it was a start.
They saw Baldur's Gate come out and being like, hey, we made a game that was kind of like that once. And a lot of people really like that game, and it has a huge cult following to this day that is like really hungry for a new game. I know, we'll make it like God of War, because people like God of War.
It just goes back to
like all the other problems that game has.
I don't know.
Like, yeah.
It's just like to me, it's just like it feels like AAA games have stopped trying to do, interesting stuff or whatever. Like they're just like not trusting developers to come up with ideas and make actual ideas for games, and they're just saying just do this, and they go, but that's not like so you want me to take this franchise that has nothing to do with this thing over here, and like you want me to turn. So let me get this straight. You want me to turn Mass Effect into God of War Ragnarok? That how does that work? What are you talking about?
Suicide Squad. You want us to take the Arkham series and turn it into a looter shooter? How? Why? And what universe is this a thing that would work?
Perfect example.
You see, they beta tested that with Arkham Knights.
Yeah, it's true.
With that bullshit game. And then they
I don't know. That's just
put out Suicide Squad thinking it would go any better at all.
Yeah, that's just my general thoughts about it. It's just like it feels like that's just what a lot of like big AAA is nowadays or whatever. It's like we're not trying to do interesting things or anything like that anymore. The few studios that actually are succeeding, but it feels like everyone's just trying to copy what they think is good.
Yeah.
And then it takes like 5 years to develop, and then they go, oh yeah, I remember this thing. I don't really care about it anymore. Kind of what it feels like Marathon is, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because when was Marathon first like teased, really?
Oh, who knows?
And how much has this game changed since its like development? Because I remember when it first came out, people were saying it was going to be a hero shooter.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. That's why I said, I'm like, do people care about hero shooters? And then,
Marvel
Rivals happened.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, yes.
Question for you, and obviously Overwatch 2 got some of its community back. Question for you: do you think Concord scared them off? They saw what Concord was
Wait.
and was going to be, and they were like,
Oh.
"Shit, we need to change course."
So with Marathon, you're saying?
Yeah.
It's a great question, ain't it? Potentially.
Because I can see that, because I could see like the perspective. There's like a lot of abilities that people like are mentioning that Marathon has. It's like where they're just like, okay, why are you able to go invisible in a looter shooter? It's like all these things that just feel so out of place in this game, and that's what has me speculating. Like maybe it was supposed to be something else entirely at one point, and they just needed to pivot directions at some point.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I could definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting point, though, that I didn't really think about. I'm like, oh, yeah, did it scare it off? And I'm like, If anything, it got Sony thinking about, like, oh, maybe we should think a little bit more about the live service games we want to put out.
You would hope so. Like, if we go by what Sony themselves have been saying, even back a few months ago, they're still, like, wholly dedicated to this. They're still developing an MMO for the Horizon games, which is the last thing in the universe I think anybody wants.
No.
I am so curious as to what that game is going to look like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if pretty much like he's just like running around as like a customizable character from Horizon. I'm like sitting here going just like, is that really interesting? I don't know. Is there enough interest around Horizon? I don't feel like there is, but you never know.
You have so many different weapons that you can use. You can use either a bow or a stick. So much customization. In this truly limitless open world MMO.
Do we think that will get canceled? Similar to the multiplayer? Was the multiplayer of Last of Us Part 2 or whatever? What was that? Or it was a live service Last of Us game, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was going to be a live service multiplayer Last of Us game, and it got canned.
Yeah. I think it'll probably follow the similar things to that. Like they're going to realize in like 2 years that we've made no progress on this, and we're like, fuck, let's just get rid of it. just move on.
Dude, I think that's a definite possibility. I want to offer a different perspective because I think it would be really funny. I think in a similar way, like Concord is going to come out and it's going to get the Fallout 76 treatment. Maybe it won't be as broken, but people are like, okay, so it's Horizon, but with a worse story, and okay, like, what do we even do? Like, what are we doing here?
It's like, what are we doing? Why do we care? Who cares? Nobody cares. All right, moving on.
Those are like, it's like Ark Survival Evolved. And it's like, okay, why won't I just go over and play that game? What can I do here that I can't just do in Horizon? Well, you're playing with your friends. Because there aren't enough games on the planet. You can't already play with your friends. It's like every other indie game that comes out nowadays.
It's true. It's like I can't wait to see all of the I don't know, it's always a thing. It's like you see like the what was that? I guess like Lethal Company was probably like the first one, and now it's like Repo is the big one or whatever. Like those like single like multiplayer like just fuck around type of games basically.
I have no clue what you do in Repo. I've seen so many clips of it. I still don't know what the objective is.
Not a damn clue what's going on or how you progress or anything like that. I have no fucking clue. I've watched people play that game. I have no idea what's going on there. People have fun, and honestly, I guess that's really all you really care about in the end. So it's like whatever.
Good for you, I guess. Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, if I had to explain repo to people, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
There are little pill people. There's like some horror, I guess. It's apparently really funny. Your objective is to
get money to go further into a thing and stuff like I don't know, something like that.
Isn't that just Lethal Company, or am I completely reading
I mean,
that
yes,
wrong?
that's Lethal Company in a nutshell. It's like this is the next thing of that. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just it feels like everything like tries to be that. It feels like very few types of games are awful limits to AAA that they're just trying to copy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't see a lot of roguelike games coming out of AAA. Not a lot, at least. There's a few. But it's like, what was that one game that came out for the PS5?
Returnal.
Returnal.
Very good game.
Was.
Not enough people gave it attention.
Yeah. I thought there was like one other one, but I can't think of it at the moment, so it's probably just not a thing.
The only other AAA roguelike that I can think of is, didn't they add like a DLC in God of War Ragnarok?
Yeah, that's what it was. Thing? Yeah. That's probably what I was thinking of. You ready for all of the Expedition 33 people trying to copy their system though? The turn-based like parry and like timing system.
Yeah, man. So excited. I mean, if more AAA developers want to make RPGs, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be like, Square and, you know, the Expedition 33 ones, I forget the name. This is like they've had their time. Now it's our turn to make it an RPG. How do we do that?
That's exactly the thing.
Shit.
People who have never made RPGs, how are they planning on approaching
Exactly. This? That's the fucking point. This is why it's like Square has been probably the best when it comes to doing so because they've been doing it for literal decades at this point.
I mean, I can see like obviously like Atlas or Final Fantasy picking this up, but
yeah, I mean, I could see like Persona 6 running a similar system to Expedition 33. I 100% could see that happening.
Absolutely, but what I'm thinking now is like imagine like other studios are just seeing this and being like, okay, BioWare, we need you to take the next Mass Effect and turn it into this. It's a third-person shooter. How do we do this? How do we make a turn-based RPG out of a Mass Effect game? How and why would people even play that? Well, people like that, so make that.
But it's just like with the people with Expedition 33, it's like literally they were major fans of like basically every type of RPG and just incorporated new elements to make it more interactive and more fun. And it's like they nailed it to a T. And it's like that's what you need to do. You need to understand what makes an RPG and what makes an RPG good, and take little innovations like that and utilize them to their fullest. Turns out being a fan of something, knowing it, understanding it, is going to take you a long way.
I mean, I think the apex of this discussion is just like a lot of these CEOs and like upper, people that are in the upper echelons of gaming need to kind of step back and let the developers do what they're good at. Exactly. Just say, give them a pile of money and say, just make something good. We don't care what it is. You guys know what you're doing. Create something that you all are passionate about.
Exactly. It's just like let's just go. Hey guys, developers teams or whatever. Big news or whatever. We're not going to make one massive game anymore. We're going to make a bunch of smaller ones. We want you to come up with pitches, and more than likely, we're going to probably say yes to just about everything you do. And obviously, that will never happen. But that would be like a way to reinvent and just like really re-energize like any development team. It's just like, I'm no longer working on stuff that I don't care about. I'm actually working on stuff I do care about. We'll incentivize people to work.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, even if you want to create like these big, like epic,
But I mean, just like start with something
holy
smaller
shit
and then
games.
maybe get bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if you do want to make these big games, that's cool with it. Tons of people are doing that, but don't like stranglehold your developers. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
Don't go the Suicide Squad route of take Batman and make it a looter shooter.
Yeah.
Take the Marathon franchise of all fucking things and make it an extraction shooter. Hell, I cannot. I remember when Redfall came out. How many developers were like, "This is not the game we wanted to make." It's like they told us to make an open world game. We didn't know how or why we were supposed to be making this. This is so outside of our field of expertise. Then they said, give it looter shooter elements. We don't know how to make a looter shooter.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that game could have been so good if they had just
absolutely
taken a step back and said, okay, you guys are a solid team. You made fucking. I don't think they made Deathloop. I think they were the Dishonored people, but like you guys made Dishonored. Make a game about a group of vampire hunters that plays like that game. Done.
It's that simple.
It's just sad.
It's like, hey, we need you to take. We need you to take this bunch of apples and make orange juice out of it. What? How the fuck do you want me to do that? I don't know. Figure it out. Cool.
The chart says that this makes money, so this is gonna make a ton of money.
Look, everyone cares about live service games. It's all the rage right now. Look at Fortnite. Look at how much money it's bringing in, baby. Come on, we need to get into that. Make that game. So wait, you want us to make Fortnite? And I'm like, yes, but with Batman. Huh? You know, it sometimes just feels like that, don't it?
Every time some shit like that happens, it feels like that.
Oh man.
The number of times when I just look at a project and think, like, what are you even fucking doing? It's insane.
Yeah. It's like from watching like From Software make like a Pokemon game or something like that, and I'm like, what? What? That makes no sense. Why would they do something like that? I'm like, they do Souls-like games so good. Why the fuck would they make anything other than a Souls-like game?
They did is the thing. They made a game that they also were good at making. They made a Mech Warrior game.
Yeah, that's true. That Armor Core, I forget about that one.
Yeah. Then everyone was like, why are you making this instead of another Souls game? Because we fucking want to. Yeah. Because we're FromSoft, and we can make whatever the fuck we want to make. And if we want to make Armored Core, that's what we're going to make. Fucking deal with it.
I mean, as long as they want to make it, that's fine by me. But if they're like just told, hey, make an Armor Core game, and they don't want to do it, and they're like, whatever. and stuff like that. We're really, what we're doing is we're making Dust Bloods or whatever, and, you know... We're just going to kind of throw... I was like, oh, yeah, I guess we got to do a thing for Armor Core. I don't know. Slap it together real fast. Who cares?
So, question about Dust Bloods. I'm a little confused there. So, they're making the... I guess it's a multiplayer...
Yeah, they got like a multiplayer game. Like spin-off game for Elden Ring.
For Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Is Dust Bloods like the same thing? Because I know that one's multiplayer.
I mean, I know it's multiplayer, but I think it's the multiplayer in the way like you see a lot of like you see like Elden Ring does, where I think you can be summoned in from a friend basically, and into their world type thing. I think. Okay. I don't know. There's not really a lot of. I mean, there's not really a lot of detail, if any at all, about it. But if I had to guess, that's probably what it would be.
Let's see. It's a multiplayer game, supports up to 8 players, and features both player versus player and player versus environment gameplay?
So PvE is what they're trying to say, I think, there?
PvP, PvE, I guess?
I guess.
This description was...
It's a weird way of phrasing it. I mean, I assume it's similar to what we've seen in, past Souls-like games and stuff. It's like, you can summon in and fuck over a player or whatever, like you can in Dark Souls 3, and just kill them at a terrible moment, and that's the PvP aspect. Or you can be summoned by a person to help fight a boss, kind of like you could in Elden Ring, where it was like that. Wasn't that the whole thing with, like, Let Me Soloer guy or whatever? Mm-hmm. Is that he would be, like, he was always there to be summoned by some person that was having trouble with the final boss, and so he would just come in and soloer.
Yeah. Oh my god, is this a hero shooter?
For what?
For Dustbloods. That's kind of what this is reading as. So, players choose from over a dozen Bloodsworn, vampire-like characters, each possessing unique weapons, including firearms and abilities, to compete across various maps. Players can customize their characters in a dedicated hub area, lore fragments integrated into customization items, which reveals more about the game world. Players can adjust abilities, appearance, and characteristics, as well as their in-game role. These roles assign specific responsibilities and objectives during matches. For example, the Destined Rivals role requires a player to find and defeat a designated rival, while the Destined Companion role tasks a player with seeking out a designated ally and earning a specific award. What the fuck? So it's like a...
This feels like they're trying to reinvent MOBAs in a way.
Kind of. This sounds a lot like... So, you've never played Halo 5, obviously, right?
No.
This sounds a lot like they took the war mode from that game and put it in Overwatch. Like, a bunch of different characters, each with their own, like, lore and abilities, being put into a map where they compete with each other and with enemies to gain a certain amount of victory points, is basically what this is describing. That's weird. That is really weird. I would have never expected FromSoft to make a game like that, because that is like that sounds like uber casual. I remember everybody saying that this was just going to be like another Bloodborne.
Same. That's why I guess that's what it just looked like, but I've never actually read into it, and I'm just like, that's just weird, because it really just sounds like it's like, we're having a bunch of different characters with different things or whatever. It's like, so aka there's different roles that people can take, and it's like 88s, and it's just like
there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot here. I mean, it's different, I'll say that much, but definitely not what I was anticipating.
No. I'll trust that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to, because it's weird, but if you think you guys know what you got, sure, go for it. Might have said what you was wrong right there.
You know what's the weirdest thing to me? Is that this is going to be a multiplayer-only title on the Switch, too.
Yep.
Like, it's going to be exclusive to the Switch, too.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I said, this just, like, now reading into actually what Duskbloods is, like, using quotes from Miyazaki, it's just got weirder, man.
So, do you think this'll...
Do you almost wonder if, like, the new Elden Ring game will almost be like, just like, here's our first iteration of what Duskbloods will become type thing, and we're going to see how people react to that and adjust accordingly? No.
I don't think that at all. The two games sound wildly different from one another.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I think they have a general outline of what they want Duskbloods to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's different.
We'll see.
Just from reading the words that were given to us from Miyazaki himself, it's weird.
Making it exclusive to the Switch 2 is a decision, though. Like, when do you think, if ever, it's going to come to other platforms?
I'll give it like a year.
Okay. Because for a multiplayer, I'll stop harking on this. I forgot what point I was making when we started talking about Duskblood.
Same.
So, do you want to move on? Quick talk about the newest, what's it called? Battlefield, not Battlefield 4, Borderlands 4 news. Did you hear what happened there?
About the price or whatever, and like the how Randy Pitchford goes, only hardcore fans will pay $80, or they'll understand.
They'll find a way to make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy Pitchford, being the greasy man he is, decided to kill hype for his own game because that's what he's best at.
It seems like it's what he does best, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll let you take the reins from here.
Honestly, I didn't really read much about it either, but
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty much the best way of describing it. Like, don't get me wrong, I was fully anticipating probably end up having to pay $80.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
we still don't know if that's what the price is going to be. Basically, I think a journalist asked him, like, "Are you guys going to go down the?"
Yeah, I remember him saying that. He's like, "Oh, are you going to go the $80 route?" And now seeing what Nintendo's doing and stuff like that. And basically, the devs, and I don't think Randy Pitchford was on that one when they were talking about it, but they said that it's not in our hands; it's in our publisher's hands, basically, of what the price tag of the game will be.
Okay, I got the specific tweet here. He said, first off, the guy saying it. I will say, the guy posted this was kind of being a prick about it, being like, this game better not be $80. It's like, you are the CEO. You have some say what the price when it comes to your publisher. Then Randy responded, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I see it there.
My local game store had Starflight for the Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage and at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen.
Such a boomer way of putting everything.
So, first off, a lot of things have changed since the 1990s.
Indeed.
Everything is, and I mean everything is way more expensive. Publishers talk all the time about, like, so everything else is allowed to raise in price, but, games obviously can't without, while simultaneously ignoring everything else, like, current market conditions, like how everything else has changed basically since that's happened. And like all the other ways that games monetize themselves nowadays, we don't need to go on that rant, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like it's why I say it's such a boomer way of saying things or whatever. It's like clearly you don't have any indication of what's going on with people, getting out of college, like stepping into like real adulting or whatever life or whatever type thing. It's difficult now. It's like you said, everything's more expensive. Everything is everything is getting more expensive day in, day out type thing. So it's like the last thing people want to be able to do is to spend an extra $10 to $20 on a game that they want to play type thing, because video games shouldn't necessarily be a luxury. They should be a thing for, especially while at the same time making money for it. And it's like you can't tell me that selling Borderlands 4 at $60, $70, whatever dollars type thing, you wouldn't make a profit off of. I'm like, no, you would.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that you would, especially because you're probably going to support it for the next couple of years like you did for Borderlands 3. So it's like, you know, it's just. I feel like we had this discussion though when it comes down to like the $80 price tag in general though. It's just like, does it?
We have.
That's
why I'm.
Do games need to be $80? Probably not, but it just because it seems like companies price points or whatever, like, oh, this game needs to make like double, triple the amount of money we put into it, and I'm like, come on now.
That's why we're not going to get too much into it. Like you said, we've talked about this before. But if you need to make like twice the budget, then why are you making the budget so fucking high?
Exactly.
So it's just, unattainably high.
It's just the greed. It's just the greed of it all. Is just what it's when. And this is gonna sound like a back in my day story, but it's like for a lot of people, for a lot of older people, for like people like you, like age like you and me, it's like we're not that old. I'm only in my early 30s or whatever. But for us, a lot of the time when we were back in the 90s or whatever, early 2000s, like gaming was fun because people put time and effort, and it was a fun thing to have. It's like, yeah, they could get expensive from time to time. Like buying a new console was like, obviously expensive, and you probably have to ask your parents like, it was like, oh, can we get a PlayStation 4 whatever type thing and stuff like that, or whatever. I remember having to do chores for fucking weeks to convince my parents to get me a PlayStation 2. You know, it's like, but
that
I did.
Only happened for me around like Christmas if I was
yeah,
lucky.
And usually it'd be like for Christmas or Easter or whatever type thing. It was rarely just like, or birthday or something like that. But it was rarely just like, oh, we would go, good job, Andrew, you did your 2 weeks of chores or whatever, so let's go out and get that PlayStation 2 for $300. I'm like, no, it wasn't always the case, but it was just like,
yeah.
But it was like, but when you got it, it was fun type thing or whatever, and that was the whole point of it. It was that games were meant to have fun while also still making money about it. And now it just feels like greed's just kind of taken over as gaming has gotten more modern, I guess.
More popular. I think more and more investors are just the fucking worst because they just want to milk the profit out of everything.
Just the greed. Just the greed is getting to it. It's like, it's gone are the days where you just like, oh, you make your money back plus some more or whatever type thing, and it's like, and you just go, okay, that was good. Let's do it again with a sequel or this other game or something like that or whatever, and then or we can keep supporting this game while also working on the next game type thing. It's like, no, if you don't make back double, triple the amount of money, it wasn't worth our time. And I'll go, no.
This needs to be something that makes money all of the time.
Yeah. It's like,
basically.
No, it doesn't need to do that.
That's why video games have like $10, $20 skins in them. That's why every game is trying to invent new ways to monetize you with like battle passes and loot boxes and all this other shit. Because as the years have gone by, like, developers just want to squeeze as much profit as humanly possible out of everything.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, and even for some people that were willing to take a stand and, not buy a game or do something like that, there are a lot of people that are willing to just bite the bullet just because. And you go, well, that's unfortunate because then that just becomes the standard. It's like, we could, with the whole thing with the Switch 2 and stuff like that, with Xbox raising all their AAA games to $80, in theory, we as gamers could step up and say, we're not going to buy this Nintendo Switch 2. We are not going to buy, Mario Kart Worlds. We're not going to buy any Xbox games, basically, and cancel Game Pass subscriptions or whatever, because to show that we are displeased by the choices made by the companies. But that's never going to happen. Some people will do that, sure, but in the end, it's not going to be enough to make a major difference. So nothing changes in the end.
Yeah. I do think. I think we've said all this. I do think we're gonna get to a point though where games are gonna get a little too expensive, and people have said before, it's like people like make these skins to appeal to the rich people who dump hundreds of dollars into this game, and it's like that's a whole different discussion. That's whatever, but
it's what the movie that's what the movie industry has become, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. These investors need common people to play video games. It's like it's been said many a time that a strong society needs
thriving middle class.
A thriving middle class. That's exactly what I was trying to say. People that are
not a middle class that's
money.
Just barely scraping by. One that has extra spending money to actually spend.
Yeah. Because that's when they're buying your shit.
They're buying things for luxury rather than just for necessity. It's economics 101.
I think we're quickly approaching that ceiling, and while I'm sure game publishers want to make games like $80 or $100, I think they're going to find out pretty quickly that I'm not even sure Nintendo is going to be able to get away with that. I'll be completely honest. I think if they do put out like the next Smash game and they price it like GTA $100,
it's gonna be so interesting. This like crux, like this next little part or whatever. It's like in the end, it could mean nothing, and people will still buy games as a result of it, and there will be a lot of people that will be thrown off from it or whatever, and a whole bunch of people that were all about gaming will be turned off from it as a result of it, or profitability will go down because people will actually games will not make as much profit as publishers were hoping for. And they say, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is there's an extra $10 in the price tag that wasn't there a couple of years ago. And you think, does $10 make that much of a difference? For a lot of people, it can. It's like if we look in the next few years of going like we see these $80, $100, not $80, $90, $100 games come out, like, you know, GTA 6 obviously I think will always be an exception to this rule, but like it's just like when it comes to it's just like when you see years going forward with like AAA game, AAA flop after AAA flop after AAA flop, or just like, you know, okay game, not really worth the price tag or whatever type thing, and a few really good games that may or may not be worth the price tag depending on how people feel about it type thing. But it's like, but then you look at it and you go, well, then you look at the indie scene and you go, this is like $25 or whatever, and I'm having way more fun with this than I am with these AAA games that are, you know, that I'm spending almost double, triple the price of this, and I'm like, why would I go pay for these AAA games when these indie games are that much better and are way more fun?
That's exactly where I think things are headed. I think they're going to try and raise prices all the way up to like $100+. The publishers are going to argue, listen, this is what the game is worth. And I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, that looks fun. I don't fucking have the kind of money.
I just don't have that kind of budget, man. I just don't.
To drop $100 on a video game. And like so many indie games come out every single day, basically. Like, you can just go to the new releases section and obviously filter out all the porn on Steam, just find game after game that just looks interesting as fuck, and being like, this is only like $20? Sure, I'll pick this one up. A lot of the games that I play nowadays are free to play too.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't I just keep playing that? The amount of leverage I've gotten out of Dead by Daylight is insane. I bought that game when it was only $7, and I put like 500+ hours into it already.
Yeah.
And despite my many criticisms with the current state of it, it's like, that's what a lot of people can turn to. And that's what a lot of people, especially in today's economy, are going to turn to.
Dude, the amount of time and amount of enjoyment I've got out of like games like Slay the Spire, Hades 2, Monster Train, and FTL, fucking like Super Mega Baseball. It's not necessarily an indie game, but it is. Brotado. I could name games all day long. Darkest Dungeon 2. For those two games by themselves, I think I paid $70 and put over 500 hours between the two of them. Actually, I think Darkest Dungeon 2 I have... Never mind. I have 730 in just Darkest Dungeon 1 alone. So, throw on another probably 120 hours for Darkest Dungeon 2 that I have currently on there. That's like 850 hours. And I'm like, between all of it, it's like, with all the DLCs, it's probably somewhere around $80. And I go, money well worth spent. And just for the entertainment alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, or you can spend $80 to get, I don't know, Battlefield 7 or whatever and stuff like that, or whatever, I don't know, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League Returns or some shit. I don't know.
Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League.
I don't know. I just came up with some bullshit or whatever.
I need that on a shirt so bad.
That's the sequel. That's the sequel that will come out in 6 years' time. I guarantee it. God, okay. We're a little bit of a time capsule here. If in 6 years there is a new Suicide Squad game and it is anything remotely to what I just said, I can foresee the future. Is what I've determined.
You are the
on May 20th, 2031 or 2030. If there is that game, I'm sorry I called it. Oh man, I don't know. All this to say though, it's just like every game is really what worth what the enjoyment that you put into it or whatever. And how much you're willing to spend for it. I'm still excited for Borderlands 4. I just don't want to pay $80 for it if I can help it. But if I need to, and I have friends that will want to play it, I think I'll enjoy it. And I'll enjoy it worth $80 worth. Honestly, the game looks really fun. And everything I've seen about it just looks way better than any other Borderlands game we've seen up to this point. So. Yeah.
No, this wasn't me meaning to rag on Borderlands.
No, I know it wasn't, but
even now we don't know that the game is going to be priced at $80. That has not been announced yet. Which is funny. This is just because it's just Randy being Randy,
this is Randy being
lovable, greasy idiot that he is.
Yep. It's like
he should be so well liked in the gaming sphere. And
look,
he keeps doing
all I'm
this.
saying is Randy.
Yeah.
I know you're not listening to this, but please, for the love of God, get a social media person to handle your fucking account. For the love of God, stop posting shit yourself. I'm begging you.
I like playing guitar and doing magic tricks and punching people in the face.
Fine. Just give your social media account to somebody to run it, please. Put some sort of editor or filter through it, for the love of God. So when you do stuff like this, everyone doesn't just call you the boomer of gamers or whatever, and you go, Jesus Christ almighty.
I just think it's so funny because Gearbox isn't like, Ubisoft or them. They pretty consistently put out good video games. Even with all the complaints people had about Borderlands 3, was still, I think, pretty good at the end of the day. It
started out rough, but it finished in a good spot.
It's just that Randy Pitchford can't fucking help himself for some reason.
He does himself no favors. He does.
Imagine the game comes out and it's like a $60, $70 and this whole thing just meant nothing. It was just him putting bad PR for the sake of it.
The only man that's done more damage to his image than Randy has on social media is fucking Elon Musk.
Okay, I'm not gonna go that far because
He does himself no favors. I'm not
no,
saying he's as bad, but I'm saying the only person that's done worse for his image than Randy Pitchford, it feels like, when it comes to his social media, is fucking Elon.
I don't know, man. Donald Trump is still on Twitter,
I
but
mean,
we're not gonna start.
yeah, that's a whole other can of worms you don't want
Can
to
of
open right
worms.
now.
Yeah, no, not on this podcast anyway.
Not right now. Yeah, I don't know. I think the fact is they haven't even announced the 70, 80, whatever dollar price tag for Borderlands 4 means that they're probably looking to see what kind of feedback they're getting for it. And from what it sounds like, is that a lot of people aren't too thrilled about spending $80 for it. But I think this is another thing where I think a lot of like and even going back to like the tweet that you quoted or whatever, it's like, oh, this better not be an $8 game. It's like, you're the CEO. When it comes to the price, I was like, you have power when it comes to that. And I'm like, but he doesn't really. That's the thing. It's like a lot of people like to think that, a CEO of a studio would have some say when it comes to a price point of a game. They really don't.
It's whoever's giving him money to make this game,
and it's like he can voice concerns. He can say, all right, he can give advice to the publishers, but in the end, it's their say, man.
And it's important to acknowledge that. I don't like defending this decision, but it's also kind of a reflection of where gaming is at the moment. Nintendo introduced this thing that everybody really hates. And, obviously, with the tariffs going on, Xbox is jumping on board. There are rumors that PlayStation is going to do the same.
No problem.
And it's like, all these, AAA studios are jumping on this new price tag, expecting, Gearbox to be like, no, we're above all this, is a little ignorant, I guess.
It's like, if they were still, if they were independent, sure, maybe they would, but they're not. It is going to be interesting to see if the base, because it's like, we haven't really seen because most likely they're going to do like the thing that they've done in the past, where it's like, here's the standard edition, game, whatever, maybe a few pre-order bonuses or whatever for some extra guns or whatever, and then there's the deluxe edition, which will add like the season pass or whatever, first year one season pass type thing, and it's like, what price will that be? Because usually it's like $40, right? Like you do in the past you've done like 60, and then for the season pass it was like then like an additional 40. So ultimately it ended up being $100, but you also get first year's DLC included with that. It's like, okay, if they do 80, does that mean that it'll be 120?
Probably. It's the current game sphere.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
We'll wait and see, but I have a feeling it's probably gonna be $80.
Like you said, though, we're in a simultaneously golden age of indie gaming, so it's not something that I'm super upset about. There are so many. It just means that
I will pick and choose AAA games way more than I already do, and I'm already pretty picky when it comes to certain games. So it's like, I might go from buying one AAA game to a year to buying 0.
Dude, that literally, that's where I'm at too.
It's
like,
I think last year I bought Rebirth, and that's it.
There is only one AAA game this year that I paid for, and that is Doom: The Dark Ages. I paid only to get early access on the Game Pass version.
Fair enough.
So I dropped $30 as opposed to $70 for that game.
Yeah, I think it's like Rebirth. I bought full price. I think that's it.
I just can't think of any.
I want to get Metaphor, but I just part of what holding back is the price. It's like, I didn't want the $70, and I have other games I want to play at the moment too.
There are just so few games that come out that really make me think like, oh yeah, this is absolutely worth $70. Like I better like just drop that money on this too. Jesus Christ. I was gonna say I'm on Steam right now because I was gonna look at some indie games and I was like, oh, you see, even Street Fighter 6 went down in price. It's only $40. Well, they have fucking every year they put out like a character and an ultimate pass, I guess, which is like 30 or 50 a piece.
Oh.
So the full game is $100. Yeah. No. No, thank you.
Fun.
I'll wait for a sale.
Do you know what game comes out in 13 hours as a response or as of this recording of this podcast?
Hades?
Nope. Monster Train 2, baby.
Oh.
I'm super excited for that one. I was like, after playing the demo a bunch, I'm just like, I'm so excited to see what these new factions are going to be and what these new clans are, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited.
Nice.
It's like that, Slay the Spire. Those are my two like games I want. I'm excited to come up for the rest of this year, probably.
Out of curiosity, how much is Monster Train?
The original one?
2.
I think it's gonna be 25.
Man, 25. Isn't that a good price for a video game? I'm cool paying that for a video game.
Right? I don't think they posted the thing, but I was like, I thought I heard some. I thought I saw one of their posts that the game was gonna be like $25.
25, 30. It's all the same. It's whatever.
It's like, I'll pay an extra $5, whatever. I know they had like an expansion that was like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, no way. I was like, well, we're happy to share that Monster Train 2 launches on May 21st for $25. Same price as the original Monster Train. Wow, that launch! I didn't realize that game's the original Monster Train is 5 years old. Wow. And then if you own the original Monster Train, you're actually gonna get like a 15% discount too. So I'm just like, come on. And you're telling me that our games have to be $80 to make price points? Come on.
Dude, I just bought an indie game recently too for only $10.
Well, they don't put as much time and effort and technology into those games and stuff like that.
But it's Minecraft with a squirrel, so I'm excited. Shut the fuck up.
I know, but I'm just voicing the theoretical AAA sympathizer and stuff like that. And I just go, yeah, I mean, yeah, they did put more time and effort into it. Yet why does it still run like ass and everything just sucks ass? Well,
look at how like big and open and realistic everything looks.
Yeah, watch as the sound doesn't work, the game is glitchy as hell and buggy as hell, and you sit here going just like, how did we ever think this was good enough for release? Great question.
Cool story, bro. Anyway, can I go fishing as a squirrel in that game? Oh, no?
No.
All right. Not interested.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Can I pet the dog? No? Well, definitely not worth my time then.
I like how every game makes that an essential feature now.
Look,
if there's a
if
dog,
you can't pet the fucking dog, it's 0 out of 10, unplayable. You better let me fucking pet that dog.
That's why it's like, didn't in Assassin's Creed Shadows you have like different ways you can pet the dog? It's like you can press like down to rub its chin or something, and it's like
something like that.
That's hilarious.
I just remember in Final Fantasy 16 there was an achievement to pet Torgal like 5 times or something like that, and like I think it was like a month after Final Fantasy 16's release, like there was only like 16% of like players had gotten that achievement, and you go, guys, come on, show the good boy love, and you go, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah, TLDR, fuck AAA.
Pet the dog.
Fuck AAA and its dick. Not the dog. Dogs are good.
Pet the dog. Pet all the dogs. There was another thing I actually did want to talk about real fast. Something that is completely off point or whatever. I saw earlier this week or sometime last week. I saw that South of Midnight added a feature that allows you to skip boss fights, which I thought was interesting. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are obviously like, oh, it's like, how could you just get boss fights or whatever? It's like, you should just get good, blah, 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 and all that, all that stuff that you always hear about it. And it's like, it is interesting to think of a mode where it's like, should you skip boss fights? Do you want to skip boss fights? I mean, for some people, sure. If you want a very casual experience, it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't know, I just feel like they add so much to a game, but, to each their own, really.
Here's my perspective of something like that. It goes back to an old tweet from the official Doom account. You control the buttons you press. It's like, from like our perspectives, that's pretty dumb. It's a boss fight, just overcome the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I know a lot of people that just aren't game savvy and just, aren't good at video games that just want to sit back and enjoy the story. And that's why so many games now have a mode even below easy where it's just like, we'll just, if you want to just experience the story, play this and you'll just coast through it.
Yeah, I know there's like, what is it, like cinematic mode or whatever, where it's like a difficulty so easy, it's like almost impossible to die on a lot of times.
That's the vibe I'm kind of getting from this, where it's just like, because one of the major appeals of South of Midnight is that it has a really decent story and good characters and good art style, all that good shit. So it's like, if people, aren't too game savvy and just want to, be able to experience all that stuff still, there's an option. And for the people that are like, well, games need to be harder, like, why are they removing the challenge? And it's like, if you want to play against the boss, then just play against the boss.
Yeah. And it's like, you can always hear the argument, well, if you don't challenge yourself, you don't get better. I get that. But some people just don't really care to get better or want the challenge. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong if you want to. If you want to, if you're struggling with like something or whatever type thing, and you, like you said, you don't want to experience the story, then sure, go for it. But
I can just see a lot of those people being like, dude, listen, I'm not trying to play Fortnite or some shit here. It's an 8-hour game I picked up on Game Pass. I just kind of want to relax after work,
Yeah.
I'm not looking to challenge myself here.
No. It's like I'm looking just to try and have some fun here rather than get mad and stressed out about because I can't beat this boss. I'm not gonna be able to see the end of the game type thing because I can't beat this thing type thing. And it's like, screw this. I don't care anymore. And I'm like, that's not the experience that we're trying to give people here. It's like, if you want to try it a few times because you think you could beat it or you're getting close, then sure. But at some point you're just like, I'm so done with this. I'm just gonna skip it. Who cares? It's fine.
It's very much to each their own way that I'm just kind of approaching this.
Yeah, it's just like people are, I don't know. It's just like, oh, the alpha gamers or whatever. It's like I'm the best. There's like, Animal Crossing isn't you're a real gamer if you play Animal Crossing. Come on. It's like no. Yeah, it's just, if you want to skip bosses, it's like if you want to skip bosses and just have fun with it, sure, go for it. But for some people, it's like, they want to challenge themselves, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's no right way to enjoy video games in the same way, there's no right way to watch movies. I guarantee a lot of the people that are these elite gamer types being like, no, games have to be challenging. We can't, be continuously dumbing things down for people. Get all pissy when it's like, okay, then why aren't you watching more art films? Why are you only going out watching the new MCU movie every year at shit like that? And it's like, well, I don't fucking want to waste my time with that. you're not watching movies right, asshole.
Yeah. Everyone has the things that make them happy or whatever. If they want to experience the story because they think it's interesting or cool or whatever, it's like, can some elements be lost by not fighting bosses? Maybe. And maybe that's up to if the developer is going to offer, a mode with like skipping it or whatever. I think there should be a way to include any story elements that they may or may not put into that boss fight. It's fine.
Just the world needs it. People need to go back to minding their own fucking business.
Pretty much.
I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Just let people do what the fuck they want to do, brother. It's not that fucking deep.
It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. So I just thought it was interesting to see that, like, a game like, it's like just games in general. It's just like the idea of skipping boss fights to me feels a little odd, but also I've been playing games for 20 plus years, so I would say I'm pretty game savvy for the most part.
Yeah.
So boss fights, in theory, shouldn't give me too much of trouble. I mean, obviously there are Souls-like games that's their whole fucking thing is that the boss fights are really hard and you have to sit there and grind them. But that is partially the skill, and it's the skill that you sort of just develop over time. So
I would like to see what made them. Did they say why they put that in game?
I have no idea. I just saw that it was put into the game. I think it was for basically every reason we outlined, is that people wanted to experience the story and were not not enthused about the boss fights or anything like that, and so they just wanted to be able to have the chance to skip them.
From what I hear, I still haven't. South of Midnight's gameplay I heard is just like extremely generic and not too exciting. So I could see it from that angle too, but it is what it is. It's not something that I'm going to dwell on.
Yeah.
It is an interesting decision, though.
It is, and I'll be curious to see. And it will be a game by game situation, but like to see if more games do that. So, because it's just like, if I'm not expecting like the next Elden Ring or whatever to next Souls like to have that. No, that's not what the game is. I mean, if they did, that'd be pretty impressive, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
It's very much not going to be the case, no.
No, but it's like it'd be interesting because like people were saying, it's like the new Metroid comes out. It's like if people want to experience Metroid, it's like, but don't want to fight the bosses. I'm like, could they skip it? And I go, no, I don't think so. But at the same point, I think when we talk about skipping boss fights, I think you want to talk about very casual experiences of games
that are more story heavy, I think.
Yeah, and for a franchise like Metroid or something like that that's long established, I feel like doing something like that, could be interesting. I just don't see that happening. Not right now, at least.
No, the places where I expect things like this to pop up are where like those, like super casual game modes already exist. Like I could see this being in like the next Last of Us or whatever that is. Obviously it was in God of War because a lot of people that don't play video games still want to go out and play God of War because they hear it has a great story, all stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't see this becoming like a super common trend like at all.
I don't see that. It's like if like in these super casual games that they have great reception, and then some big name game does the same thing, and people go, this is great, but probably very unutilized feature. I would assume that'll probably not a ton of people would utilize it, but you never know. So all this to say, in the end, play how you want to play. You want to skip boss fights? It's fine. You want to make time to sit and kind of grind them out and really understand them and try and challenge yourself? Sure, go right ahead. Nothing wrung with either of those things.
all depends on what you want to get out of a specific experience that, at the end of the day, you paid for.
Mm-hmm. So enjoy it
And
how
hey,
you want to.
say somebody does play it that way and really likes the game and is like, you know, I do want to go back through this. See, maybe if I can't, do those boss fights, because I like this game and I want to experience it again.
It is interesting to see like if you do skip a boss fight, especially if like there's very story elements. Like, could you imagine doing like almost any boss fight in like Persona 5 and like just saying, "Oh yeah, I want to skip this because I don't want to fight freaking Okumura or whatever," and you lose like all of that story elements? No.
That's why I say it is something that you can only do for like certain video games.
Yeah, and if there was something that they wanted to do that was very story heavy, they would have to like include like a cutscene or something like that would explain the story or do the fight for you or something like that. One of the two.
Yeah.
So anyway, I figured I'd just bring that up, but that was pretty much discussion I thought I was going to go in.
Nice.
I just thought it was interesting that I was like, it was the first game that I've really seen that introduced the idea of skipping bosses, and I thought that was an interesting concept. And it's like, yeah, why not? Thank y'all so much for listening to another episode of It Never Ends. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, YouTube, whatever. Go tell people, leave a review. It all helps in the end.
If you're on Spotify, be sure to give us a little cute little rating there.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.